Are at the January 2013 Dallas market. It's been an exciting show, and one of the great features that we've had was the Uptown collection by Sergio Orosco, who's come in with a second introduction that's really fabulous. But even better, we have a chance to hear from the designer himself, Sergio Orosco. And Sergio, thanks for joining us, and I'm looking forward to talking about the product, the inspirations, and some of the selling points for this product, since this is going to be seen by many people who will be selling your product on the showroom floors. So I know this is one of the groups here. This collection is new, and so maybe we can start there and talk about some of the inspirations that brought you to designing this piece as a part of the Uptown collection.
As we all know, our main inspiration is New York City, and continuing with the feeling of enlarging the aroma of New York and other parts of the world, we have revisited the area called Bowery, which is basically the center of the lighting industry in New York City. And whenever I go to this area, the feeling that I get is a feeling of crystal, of lightness. And as you can see, everybody has, in one way or another, always allured to the tassels. And my idea with this collection was to create a different kind of a tassel. A tassel, they give you the hint of a handmade artifact, but really it is a beautiful piece of crystal that not only reflects, but refracts and contains and expresses the beauty of crystal clean, simple lines. Along with it, we have a beautiful shade that sort of reflects as well the angular element of the tassel, and a very simple fixture that seems to flow, that seems to breathe easily on the air. This is the feeling of the collection called Bowery, which enhances any interior in today's kind of styles, because crystal is a well-regarded element in all the interiors.
Great, fantastic. And this is also available in two finishes, not just one.
We have it in polished nickel and K9 clear.
And our WT, which is our hand-rubbed bronze, which does have a little different treatment on the shade.
I wanted to make this a little bit more casual. So we went to a fabric shade that has a more texture, and with the bronze, I want you to focus very closely here on the elements, the knob and the cap that seem they feel like they've been aged by the years of touching, almost created a sort of worn out varnish on each one of the elements, combined with the hand rubbed bronze. So that's a very actually beautiful.
Yeah, and it's a very different look. One is a little bit more formal, and this is certainly a lot more casual in its appearance as a result. And that's available in a 5-light and also a wall sconce, which is quite beautiful, with the two-toning that you've created here on this piece. So it's a total of 4 pieces in that collection. So let's move on to the next group, which right here is our Liberty collection. Tell us about that.
Inspired again by the city of New York, the fantastic Statue of Liberty, it seems like there is always a light, a candle on the wind. And the idea was to bring this feeling of the outside world into the interiors by having a double glass, a quite generous, quite large, clean, clear glass with a very small little candle inside. The feeling is that you always have in your home a feeling of peace, a feeling of harmony. The structure itself, as you can see, it is beautifully crafted in a way that you marry expensive extrusion tubing with very wide, beautifully almost casted look arms. Simplicity and attention to detail is the elements of this piece. We have as well the island
light, right, which is a 4-light,
where we have managed to completely remove the wire backs. As you can see, nowhere in this picture you can find the wire backs, and I think that's the beauty of this.
So it's very clean.
It's clean. You don't know what is wiring, how it's wired. Exactly. We went into a lot of work to remove the wiring backs out of this collection.
And then we have a mini pendant as well, which you can see here, which has 3 feet of rod, and it terminates with a loop and then goes to a chain as well, so you have a lot of versatility on the height. And the fourth piece in this group is a wall sconce. And one of the other things, Sergio, I'm noting here is that you've got a two-tone here also with a brushed nickel and a chrome. All the little details that you have here on these little parts are chrome and brushed nickel. I see the same thing here, and it just adds a little bit more detail, a little bit more attention to detail on it.
I think we're going to a great expense of creating this two-tone allure. What it does is really reflects the craftsmanship of the maker, which these days is quite difficult to find, because I believe that the attention to details today is luxury, and creating these subtle, clean, simple elements and a different finish brings it to a sense of jewelry for the home.
Okay, great. And so the next piece I see here, which is a collection that we've actually have seen before, the Astor collection, very, very sleek, very modern. Tell me about this group right here.
This collection, again, inspired by New York City, and in this particular case by the bottom of a canoe that we probably will be the
Central Park, right?
Central Park, and then the Hudson River, with many boats and many ports and many piers exist. The idea on this one was to create, we did originally the bathroom picture, and it was so beautiful that I decided that we should have an island piece, in this case 4 different vessels on it, with actually 8 bulbs inside, so it's a lot of lights coming out of this.
Those are G9s that are 75 each, so there's really quite a lot of light coming from this.
Again, seamless with the wire backs, which is my intention to remove it, or visually remove it, so it's how is this made, how is this done, and the beautiful semi-flash fixture on the top.
And again, there we'll get 4 different 75 watts, so you get a lot of light out of that as well. And so
one of the complaints that we had lately is that a lot of the island lights didn't give enough light. Well, this will give you enough.
Right. So the next group, Sergio, is Columbus Circle. And I can certainly see the circle, so I can see the inspiration there. But so what other inspirations did you bring into this group?
The idea on this particular luminaire is to have a reminiscence feeling of the center of New York, in that particular area, 60th Street and Central Park, where many different destinations can be taken from a circle, therefore the Columbus Circle. And if you can look at this piece carefully, you don't find anywhere a wire box. So we have removed completely the wire box, creating an emptiness, 2 circles that basically touch, and a center ball that seems to tell you the future of your destination.
All right, yeah. So
important as well to point out is that we went into a great expense and a great equipment to make this circle on the wider side with the tubing, which means it is always easy to bend it on the flat side, but incredibly difficult to do it on the wider side. And we achieved this, and the feeling is of jewelry,
so beautiful, very clean,
of simplicity. And of course, to me, these kind of elements are what makes luxury today.
Absolutely. And the other piece too is the wall sconce, which is actually, talk about luxurious and simple. I'm looking at the wall sconce here, which is a half moon piece of glass in opal. This is all opal blown glass, right? Which is really the best luminaire for diffusing the light sources. And you've got a really nice full backplate there that simulates that half moon. So I love that piece as well.
It's completely seamless. You don't see a single screw. It seems to be floating not only the circle but the glass as well.
Absolutely.
Truly an achievement in engineering and design.
So, Sergio, as we move through this beautiful space for the Uptown Gallery, there are 2 other groups that were introduced in the last market with, again, beautiful K9, crystal, this piece here, which is a little more contemporary, and this here, very interesting piece. We did very well with that, which has an accompanying pendant over there. But I'd like to talk about some of the other new introductions, and so I'm going to walk over there as we look at a new collection, and this group here is the Wall Street collection, which is basically two pieces. We've got a pendant, and we also have a semi-flush. They're both the same size, so that they both have, I believe these have 4 sockets in it, so they really put out a lot of light. But boy, again, what a clean design. What was the inspiration here?
When I think about Wall Street, I always think about your money floating somewhere. You don't know exactly where, but somewhere. And by taking this magnificent piece of glass and floating it on a ring, but on top of that, floating on the balls, I wanted to represent the feeling of wealth, the feeling of expansion, the feeling of incredible luminescence, and the feeling as well of craftsmanship, reaching very simple lines. This is Wall Street represented in lighting.
Fantastic. And the piece up top here, I've got to step back a little bit so that you can see the nice detail that's supporting the ring going around. And the finish on this, Sergio, I believe this again is both a brushed nickel and a polished nickel accents again. Look at the nice little details here, even on the glass. Very, very clean, very well crafted, very well conceived. Great job. Well, in the center of this living room setting here is a beautiful piece. Tell me about this series. And the name of it, I believe, is Gotham.
Gotham represents truly the center of the universe in terms of cities, and that is New York. Gotham is New York. And we felt that for this particular item, we should have something bigger, larger, yet unique. As you can see on our shades, we have created a gold foil that somehow reflects inside a little hint of amber. And the balls are floating on a beautiful coral. Each one of them is hugged, embraced by the metal work, which on top of that is sitting on a metal ring that seems to float, wireless completely and floating. Black shades to create drama, and large crystal ball, which represents as well mystic magic.
And you know, most people would say the black shades are very sophisticated, but they don't usually give a lot of light because they're opaque because of the foil. But actually, because it's a drum shade, I'm seeing a lot of light that's emanating both down and up. And so actually you can get quite a bit of light from a shade that's black.
Definitely, mostly on a piece that has a lot of crystal, which lets the light go through, and the reflection of the shade into the diffuser.
I'm just looking at some of the details too in the finial. I'm seeing this sort of a... So the next collection is the Gramercy, a little bit different from the polished, sophisticated look of the Gotham. And this has a more casual look. I see also you're using combinations of finishes as well. So tell me about this and what the genesis of this design is.
The feeling on Gramercy is a feeling, as you mentioned it, of being casual, being simple, living downtown, not uptown, and having most of the products on a young, simple, in this particular case, a Cajun feeling, where the fixture itself, the arms of the fixture, form in a unique way a center box, which is a cage, and then they bring back in beautiful angular lines that contrast with the curves, the energy, the filament, the wire into the glass, the beautiful opal glass. And it is as well very good, important to show the fact that we have a downlight, because these lights are very soft. And
that's an MR16, so you're really getting a fair amount of light out of there. And what a great way to highlight some flowers, a floral arrangement.
For dinner.
For dinner, or a dinette. Absolutely, that's a great piece. And so we have, this is a 4 light and not a 5 light. Actually, you really didn't even realize that, so it has a kind of a minimal look, but still...
It's minimalistic.
Yeah, but still, actually here, I believe that we have regular Edison-based sockets, so we can get 100 watts out of there. And then we do have a wall sconce as well, which you can see obviously simulates the same profile as the fixture piece. So, having done this group, we're going to move on to a group that's created a lot of excitement is the East Village, and obviously one of the great features there is the Edison bulb. And so tell me about what the creation of this product was about for you.
Each village represents another unique advantage of technology for our products. As we established before on the line, on the luminous, before this one, on the first collection, we were using the tubing on a flat way. On this one, as you can see from under, we have decided to create a U shape that seems to dissolve itself in the space, making it very light, very simple, very clean, and adorning it with the beautiful knobs, again, that seem to be aged by human touch, and clearly creating a spectacle of beauty, elegance, and simplicity.
So, and again, I see you got a two-tone treatment here on the knobs. It looks like if you loosen those up, you'd be able to move that around. Is that a moving part, or is that just there for the decoration?
My dream was to make it movable, but unfortunately, due to the restrictions of UL,
yeah, that makes sense.
they felt that we couldn't do it, and it could be a problem for anybody who didn't know how to do it well. So we have kept it with a pin on the right distance and then the right vertical line, and creating the look but not the function, as it will probably be a hassle.
So on this series here, we've got a 5 light that we're looking at now. We go to an 8 light right here, and then we have a single wall sconce as well. And this group here, and actually we haven't been talking about price points, but we do have these little tags here which will show you really some great value here. 5 light at $225, something of this presence and value, inclusive of bulbs, is really quite value-added product. So,
yeah, because the bulbs itself would be very expensive to buy them. Here on this particular product, we are including the bulbs.
Absolutely. So the next and the last series that we're going to look at that's new is the series that is an expansion of the theater row. And these were the original pieces that were created, and it sold so well. It was such a dynamic piece that we expanded it in 2 different areas. Do you want to tell us about these expansions?
Probably one of the most successful designs, again, due to the fantastic tooling that we developed to bend tubing. As you can see, the thickness is 5/16 by 1 1/4. This is a landmark for Quoizel to go this deep to create this tooling and create this unique product that we decided to move it from the wall into the open space of the home. So now you can have it as a single mini pendant, and we created as well.
And that comes with, and this all comes with also 2 6-inch sections and 2 12-inch sections, totaling 3 feet. And we do have additional rods available, but it does terminate also in a loop, and chain can be used to further regulate the height. Okay, so and that I believe is available also in a bronze finish. And here it's good to see this on the side so that you can see the angulation of this tubing. And I believe Sergio pointed out the type of technology and machinery that's needed to create that really was quite incredible that they could figure out how to actually do that. Very simple and yet very effective, and certainly very different. And Sergio, before we just go into the other piece, since it's an important part of the series, there's a mirror here also that utilizes that same beautiful curvature of the metal, and we've just expanded this whole piece as well.
We made it even more difficult because going on an angle and making it round, like you see on this fixture or on the wall sconce, is already a monumental task. But now we made it even more difficult by going oval. Right. So just can imagine how to make this mirror with an angular bend and making it oval. So it's a double compound curve.
And also we have a new square one which we're going to show, or a rectangular one, in a few minutes. But just quickly here, let's go through the semi-flush mount, which are sitting side by side in 2 finishes with the Edison-based bulbs, which are all included. These pieces are quite unique and quite functional. What were the inspirations there?
Again, simplicity, clean lines, and open space.
Yes, okay.
Creating products that basically are the jewelry of the home and simplify the decoration, avoiding a lot of the decoration that we used to have 10 years ago.
Okay, great. And so right here is another series that actually is just being brought over from the last market. We did very well with those. The last group, which we forgot about because it's in the bath section, is the bath and the mirror, which is the rectangular mirror. Beautiful, beautiful design, Sergio.
And Ritz represents basically the distillation of simple elements. And as you can see, the glass follows the fantastic die cast at the bottom, and the device holding the glass as well is oval with a beautiful semi-oval backplate that is floating. Truly a fantastic piece.
Beautiful piece.
And very difficult to wire. We had shipped this with a lot of care. That is the beauty of craftsmanship by Quoizel.
And just real quickly, because we just have a second to close here, is we have this rectangular mirror done with that same angle, which really is quite beautiful, quite exquisite. Very expensive looking, and the quality of it is superb. So, Sergio, I'd just like to congratulate you.
Thank you very much.
Another job well done in creating another continuation of Uptown, and I look forward to our next presentation next January.
Thank you for Quoizel for allowing my dreams to become true.